A quick context on the situation is we need to remember that COVID-19 has deepened some of the challenges that the coffee value chain faces and has created some new challenges that we need to deal with. However, the structural challenges that the coffee value chain faces and has been facing for many years now are still there. Of which the biggest is the deep imbalance between the different links of the coffee value chain. So that's in itself one of the thing we should be looking at, how to make the value chain, especially on the producer side, the economically sustainable. And this is a work that we need to do in a manner, as Annette well put it, and Mary, in matter of under the principle of co-responsibility. Everybody has to be working in a collective action to make sure that happens, and that the value chain, and we keep the value chain. How do we do it? I mean, we all know, all of us attending here, the GCP has the country platforms. Those are very powerful tools that can be used for many purposes, to work for the value chain and work for the coffee farmers. Of course, as you can imagine, I have a strong bias on going towards the coffee farmers, and I think that this is a very valuable tool. One is it's very important for this collective action to work, that we activate the stakeholders in producing countries, not just in the industry, but also in producing countries. I'm not just talking about the usual suspect, the producers and the NGOs and the coffee industry and the processing industry and so on. Also, there has to be an engagement with governments, because part of what happens here is related to coffee economic policy. And that has to really be focused on economic viability. That has to be the first and main task that we look at and that we try to keep. How do we do it? It's not just about discussing prices, and I agree that prices in the exchange do not reflect the physical coffee, do not reflect the market, but also we need to work on the producing side, and that's where GCP also can do good work in putting all the pieces together, in working with all the stakeholders to make sure that collectively we can do some work. For instance, we need to, in many countries, it's not clear what the costs of production are. The platforms and GCP can help help study that and create the base for which we understand better how production is, what the cost of production, what the efficiency in the farm productivity and so on is how it is developed in a certain country, and based on that you can work on the economic viability points that you need to develop to make sure that it really happens. So I believe that in a nutshell, that at this point, and we're going to hear from the panelists, at this point the role of GCP is key. The role of all the I keep saying it on the board that the GCP has to be the place where everybody comes to discuss in a neutral manner how to make the coffee value chain sustainable, and especially the coffee farmers sustainable. So this is the point where, with collective action, not losing the focus because of COVID-19, but focusing on the medium and long-term situation of the coffee value chain. This is the point where GCP can play a key role to make all these things happen, taking advantage, if one can say it so, of the current crisis, which is for the moment our biggest, what everybody's talking about. But we cannot forget the structural part of this, just by dealing with because we're dealing with the current pandemic. So I think the GCP needs to be. We need to support GCP on working on putting together stakeholders and make sure that we focus on economic viability of the farmers, economic viability of the whole chain in the end, for the medium and long term, and that can be achieved through the national platforms and in the countries by sitting all the stakeholders at the table at the same time.